8 signs to know you're in a relationship with a narcissist. We are about to see. Let's get into this tea. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into a topic that a lot of people are curious about, especially when it comes to understanding toxic relationships. And that is narcissistic behavior, and what are the signs and how can we tell if we're in a relationship with a narcissist. So, getting my notes. All right. So how can we tell? All right, narcissism. It is a term that gets thrown around a lot, but it's important to understand what it really means in the context of relationships. Narcissists can be incredibly charming, and they can seem like the perfect partner at first. But underneath all of that charm, it lies a pattern of toxic behavior that can leave you feeling confused, hurt, and drained. So let's get into it. What are the signs of narcissistic behavior, and how do we know if we're in a relationship with a narcissist? First, we have to talk about what narcissism is. So some of you may know, some don't, but narcissism is narcissistic personality disorder, which people normally refer to as NPD. It's a mental health condition that's characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance or a deep need for excessive admiration and a lack of empathy, of course, for others. Now, not everyone who has this particular trait are narcissists. Some have tendencies that can be incredibly, I would say, difficult for you to be in a relationship with one of them. One of the confusing things about narcissism is that it doesn't always show up right away. In fact, narcissists are often really good at hiding their true selves, especially in the beginning of a relationship. Which usually they'll shower you with attention, affection, and flattery. And if you saw one of my other videos, this is known as love bombing. Go check that one out. Love bombing makes you feel like you are the perfect partner and you are the best thing to them. But over time, the mask will start to fall, the cracks will show, and then you'll start to notice the signs. So let's break down the 8 key signs to watch out for to know if you're in this type of relationship. Okay, sign number 1 is that they lack empathy. One of the biggest traits of narcissism is the lack of empathy. Narcissists have a very hard time truly understanding or caring about other people's feelings. So in a relationship, it can show up in many different ways. Maybe you are upset or you're hurt, and they seem very indifferent or very annoyed at you. Or they might dismiss your feelings altogether by saying things like you're overreacting, why are you so sensitive, things of that nature. Empathy is it's one of those things that you need to have in any healthy relationship. So if your partner is consistently ignoring you or belittles your emotions, that's a huge red flag. Narcissists, they don't like to take the time to really understand or care about other people's feelings or what you're going through, because their focus is really always on themselves. All right. Number 2 is they need constant admiration. Narcissists have a huge appetite for admiration, and they need the validation. They actually thrive on compliments, attention, and the praise and they'll pretty much go through anything that they need to do to get to it. So in the beginning, they might seem overly confident, extremely charming as always, but over time, you'll notice that they consistently seek the validation from you and from others. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you might feel like you're always walking on eggshells trying to keep them happy. And no matter how much admiration you give to them, how much attention you give to them, it never seems to be enough. They'll always crave for more attention. And if they don't get it, they may become angry or distant or find other ways for them to fulfill that need. So number 3, they are highly manipulative. Narcissists, they're experts at manipulation. They know how to push your buttons. They know how to make you feel guilty, confused, or even crazy. This can come in the form of gaslighting, which I have a video, I'll talk about that as well. And where gaslighting is where they are actually deny how you feel, making you doubt your own sense of reality. For example, you might confront them about something, let's say hurtful that they said to you, and they'll respond with, "I never said that." Or they'll respond with like, you're making that up, or you're making these things up. Or in my experience, they'll be like, "You're childish." Really? So over time, this can wear you down. It can leave you questioning your own sanity and your own stability. So these narcissists are skilled at twisting situations to make themselves look like the victim or the hero, while you're left feeling like you're the bad guy, but you're not. This is where we wake up. Number 4, they are self-centered. So at the core of narcissism is a deep sense of entitlement and self-centeredness. Narcissists believe that the world literally revolves around them, and they expect special treatment literally because of that sense of entitlement. In a relationship, this can look like they are always putting their needs, their wants, or their desires ahead of yours. For example, if you're making plans, they'll expect you to do what they want you to do without considering your preferences and what you want to do, right? Or if something goes wrong, they'll blame everyone else, never taking the responsibility for their own actions in that particular circumstance, right? They are incredibly focused on their own agenda, and your feelings do not register with them, and they are not important to them. All right. Number 5, they have a grandiose sense of self. Narcissists often have an inflated sense of their own importance. They believe they're superior to others and deserve special recognition even when it's not warranted. This can show within their career, within friendships, especially in relationships. They may constantly talk about their accomplishments, exaggerating their talents, or even brag about how much better they are compared to others. So in a relationship, this can make you feel inferior, or like they're constantly competing for approval, or literally competing against you in the relationship. They may belittle your achievements, or even act like they're doing you a favor by being with you. So this makes it hard for them to see you as an equal partner in a relationship because of that. All right. Number 6, they're extremely sensitive to criticism. So narcissists, while they're pure confident, they're actually incredibly sensitive to any form of criticism. Try it. If you try to bring up an issue or express something about like how you feel about something that they've done, they might explode with anger, become defensive, or in most cases, they shut down entirely. This is because they can't handle the idea that they're flawed or imperfect. And any suggestion that might be wrong is a threat to their ego. Huge inflated ego. So this can make it impossible, really is. It makes it impossible to have a healthy relationship and to communicate with the narcissist. So instead of working through the issues together, the narcissist will choose to either blame you for it, deflect the responsibility, or act like they're literally the victim, right? Number 7, they lack accountability, kind of like what we were talking about. So they rarely take accountability or responsibility for their actions. If something goes wrong, it is never their fault. They'll blame circumstances, people, or even you for whatever happened. In a relationship, this means that they'll never apologize or own up to their mistakes in the relationship. Instead, they'll twist the situation to make it seem like you're the one at fault. Lastly, number 8, they play the victim. Even when they're the ones causing the harm, narcissists often play the victim. They'll twist the narrative to make it seem like they're being mistreated or they're being misunderstood. This is a very common manipulation tactic to get you to feel sorry for them as they shift the focus away from their bad behavior. In relationships, this can leave you feeling guilty. It can leave you feeling responsible for their emotions. You might find yourself constantly trying to make things right, even when they're the ones who've caused the harm. They're the ones that hurt you. They use this tactic to keep you emotionally invested in the relationship while avoiding any and all accountability for their actions. That's exactly what I said. Manipulation at its finest. So, if any of these signs sound familiar, then you might be dealing with a narcissist. Okay? But how do you know really if you're in a relationship with one? Well, I have a quick test for you. And I want you to take your time and ponder on these questions. All right? Question number 1 is, do you often feel like you're giving more than you're getting in the relationship? Think about that. Question number 2, do you feel like your partner is never satisfied, no matter how much you do for them? Number 3, do you often question your own reality or feel confused after having conversations with them? Number 4, do you feel drained, anxious, or emotionally exhausted after spending time with them? And number 5, do they struggle to acknowledge your feelings or your needs? If you've answered yes to many of these questions, it's possible that you're in a relationship with a narcissist. Those are important questions. Go back, not rehearse them, but pay attention to them. Think about it. Being in a relationship with a narcissist is extremely emotionally exhausting, and it can be very damaging to your self-esteem. This is why I stress that self-love is so important. They are skilled at hiding their true selves and making you feel like you are the problem. But it's important to remember that their behavior is not your fault. And recognizing the signs is the first step toward breaking free from this toxic cycle, or like I like to say, this never-ending roller coaster. All right. So if you suspect that you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's important to set boundaries, people, please, and protect your emotional well-being. Do not be afraid to seek support from friends, family, from therapists, or even videos such as this to be able to help you navigate through the situation. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, boop, 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 and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Stay strong, trust your instincts, and remember that you deserve to be in a relationship where you're valued, where you're respected, and definitely where you're loved. All right? I see you guys on the next video. You know what I always say. Yes, think twice before reacting.